Welcome, Panther Nation football fans, to another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo here, talking all things Carolina Panthers, from the postseason to the Super Bowl to the offseason, to the draft, to OTAs, to preseason, to the regular season. Let the growling begin. Welcome back, Panther Nation. Guys, glad you could join us. Yet it's a little bit late. It's Wednesday. Hopefully trying to get this out. I've been away from you guys for far too long. Just grateful to be back with you guys. You guys know, been having some personal things going on in my world. But glad you could join us. Couldn't miss this one with the victory that we were able to pull out Sunday. It wasn't the prettiest win, but it's the first one of the Bryce Young era as we took down the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud 15-13 on what was an exciting matchup. And Eddie Pinheiro was able to redeem himself and boot the Panthers into the victory books and out of the unwinless column. It was an exciting game. Probably uneventful yards-wise, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Seeing what this team has been doing, surprisingly enough, we still haven't solved the running back issue. I would say, even though Dameon Pierce had a quiet game, but they did run for 100 yards total on us. They did not have a 100-yard rusher, but I thought for the most part the defense played so much better. And as many of you know, Thomas Brown called his first game. And I was so impressed with the fact that so many things went right for us this season. In this game. And it was a lot of fun to watch. It really was. Seeing C.J. Stroud, whom I still have a soft spot in my heart. But that defense was so good, considering Stroud had just lit up the NFL the last couple of weeks, guys. I mean, you can call it what you want and say you're not this and that, but you can look at it and see he's got 300-plus yard games under his belt. But here's the thing. He didn't throw his first interception until last week, guys. So, and we were able to harass him. And understandably, he took 11 sacks in the first two games, and he's only taken 4. Which our defense, again, was able to do what it does best, is get to the quarterback. Which I'm so grateful that these guys did such a good job at putting him on his back. Now, with that being said, he turned out the worst performance in all season. And that's saying a lot because the Saints had him for 199 and, two touchdowns and an interception. We didn't give up a touchdown passing. He did, however, have 13 yards running, which is something he doesn't do a lot of. He acclimates himself to throwing the football. He's more of a pure passer, which is what I really loved about C.J. Stroud coming out of Houston. But that's enough about him. He's not a Carolina Panther. Bryce Young, however, is our quarterback. And to say the least, this guy was very efficient in Thomas Brown's offense. He did take 6 sacks, and he did address that, saying that he thinks a lot of that is on him, which it is. He's got to do better with recognizing blitz packages, and he's got to do a better job at recognizing what's coming at him. You got to be able to understand where the blitz is coming and do something about it. And, to acclimate the offense into things. He does a pretty good job checking into plays. But once again, you got a defense in Houston who's very good against the run. D'Amico Ryans likes to stop the run and bring pressure. And I thought Thomas Brown did a phenomenal job getting offense in the right place. Chuba Hubbard is still that guy. I mean, I love Chuba. And it's obvious that Miles Sanders is not that guy, as I've said before. And thank you, Frank Wright, for paying attention. I don't know if it's my show or somebody who's watched my show, but I've been saying this since day one. I didn't think Miles Sanders was a good fit. I thought Deontay Foreman was. But Hubbard was not able to get much done, but I was grateful to see how many carries he had. Was not happy to see what happened with Laviska Shenault. I think he had suffered an injury, but I would like to see him back in the lineup. Raheem Blackshear had some big plays when he came into the game. He had a big 19-yard play on a wheel route, which was well called, Thomas Brown. Well called game. You got Jonathan Mingo involved. He had that big 40-yarder across the middle, and that's what we got to do. We didn't see enough of that from Frank Wright. Guys running across the formation, you have to see that. Mingo's got speed and he's got size. You have to do that. Adam Thielen can't be the only guy that Bryce Young looks to. You've got to force him to look to other guys. What I really like was Tommy Tremble got two targets in the red zone, and one of them turned into touchdowns. And, yeah, we got to continue to get this guy to football. Hayden Hurst's targets and playing time has gone down. Hopefully that's a good look, but at the same time, we still got Hurst for one more season, guys. This is shaping up to be a lot of dead money, and you can't have that. DJ Shark had a good shot down the field, but we got to get him more involved too. He's got to be the guy that goes down the field. We got to do better. Stephen Sullivan had a grab, but Terrace Marshall's the guy that everybody's talking about because Terrace Marshall requested a trade, and they gave him permission to seek a trade, and we just hit the deadline, and we were relatively silent. I guess the argument could say is we were silent, but I don't think there was very many moves we could make. Of course, the Devontae Adams move would have been phenomenal, but Brian Burns once again showed his behind, played great, had a sack along with the NFC Player of the Week, if I recall correctly. I think Frankie Louisville was the NFC Player of the Week, if I recall correctly. And, we have to continue to look at a guy like Frankie Louisville who has 12 total tackles in this game and had a sack. Jamie Robinson's been playing some major reps and whatnot. He had 6 total tackles along with Xavier Woods, who had 8. Dante Jackson, who had a tackle for a loss, along with 5 total tackles. C.J. Henderson continues to play the good role and had 5 tackles. Derek Brown also at 5. D.J. Johnson had 3 tackles and a tackle for loss, but he had a low mark. And, of course, my boy Amari Barno had 2 tackles out there. Glad to see them mixing him in. Edo Grusmatos did not play in this game, to let you guys know. That's the reason why we had a lot of guys that were playing. Justin Houston still, to me, is not playing well. And, I don't know. I honestly wish the Carolina Panthers would have went after Chase Young and put him on the other side. Because ultimately, I think ultimately we need to have Amari Barno on the other side of him, or sending one Frankie Louisville on the blitz more often than not, at least until we get Jeremy Chin back, which I don't understand why Jeremy Chin is not part of Coach Avero's defense. But nonetheless, let's look at the offense yet again. Bryce Young was pretty darn impressive. He's just got to get out of the notion. And because right now, I don't know what is the issue with Ike Ekwonu. He's regressed. He's not. I don't know if it's something psychological, whatever. But he is not playing well. And in a lot of cases, as we look at the PFF grades for week number 8, it's not good. It's not good for certain players. But let's look at the ones that look good. Even though Terrace Marshall only played a handful of snaps, and I think it was, Thielen would have been the highest graded guy yet again. He had a 78, and of course Bryce 68, Raheem Blackshear, Stephen Sullivan, but Terrace Marshall had an 83.3, and he only, like I said, Marshall only played 4 snaps, but he had 83.3 in those 4 snaps. So hey, maybe that's a plus. But let's looking at the worst of the offensive unit. The interior and the line just as bad again, and then here the thing about Bradley Bozeman is like, really? Come on, Bose. Come on, you're the guy. You're one of our guys. You got to do this thing. And, that left guard position has been a struggle. You know, we've been flipping guys in and out with Chandler Zavala, and you know we're hoping to get some help back with Corbett, but you know it's going to be tough with Christensen being done for the year. Hayden Hurst had a 30.8 for the limited amount of snaps he had, and you look at this, you know. The offensive line allowed 10 hits on Bryce Young, and of course, Ekwonu allowed 5 pressures, and 2 which were sacks. Now, this is a guy you're asking to be the franchise tackle. Not performing like it. All expectations. And it's like I said, somebody's going to have to get in his grill and let him know, look, are we going to have to let you on your way? Because next year's his contract year. You know, what is this going to be? Sophomore slump, and then he comes back and balls out, and then after he gets his 5th-year option, boom, he's going to decide, well, I'm just not that dude. Because I think this is crucial. The Carolina Panthers were supposed to have gotten their left tackle last year, and I'll be honest with you. This is not looking good. The one that shocked me was DJ Shark. He had a 51.8. So I think ultimately this is what I would like to see. I would ultimately like to see at this point. I would like to see Thomas Brown try to get more deep shots down the field with Shark and let Bryce Young know, hey, look, guy, we got to get this down the field, bro. We got to set these games. Just like he set up that beautiful wheel with Raheem Blackshear. Beautiful play design. I wish I could show it to you guys, but I loved that play design that they had with Raheem Blackshear. It was just phenomenally run. But let's also look at, let's flip it for a minute and go to that defense. The PFF grades for the defense goes as such. Frankie Louisville, 78.6. Cornerback Dante Jackson, 77.3, whom was the rumor of a lot of trade talk, which I'm glad they didn't pull the plug. They pulled the plug on that and just kind of eased back on that because he's playing well. I understand he's tied up in money, but look, Scott Fitterer, we already got enough damn dead cap money right now. We don't need any more. Stop thinking about what we can save and start thinking about all the dead cap we got. We already got $51 million worth of dead cap space. If these guys are not in your long-term future, stop signing them. Simple. This is what I try to tell you guys about getting rid of Christian McCaffrey. We still going to be stuck with that same money. Same thing with DJ Moore. When you sign a guy, you need to intend on finishing that deal. Or eating the dead cap space for just that season, not multiple years. You don't do that. That's the reason why teams are so willing to do that. You don't guarantee a guy's contract and then turn around and trade him. You don't ever want to do that. So we got DJ Moore's contract, who was just renewed last season or the season before that. We got him. We got this guy's contract on us for at least another 3 years. And we still got 2 years left with McCaffrey's deal. So all of this, whoa, we need to trade him. Why? If you're going to have that attitude, just sign them for 1 or 2 years after they become, after they have their 5th-year option, and then just call it a day and trade them. I don't get it. Some of y'all think y'all know and you don't. LeBron Ray had a good game. He had a 70.9 defensive end on the upside. Deshaun Williams had a 69. These are guys that are playing those defensive ends, if you will, the outer portion of it next to Derek Brown, who had an average game, if you will. Not a horrible game. Gruger Hill had another good game playing that linebacker position. And then there's the not so good of the defense. Xavier Woods still, still trying to get it together, I guess. Brian Burns surprisingly had some missed tackles, if you will, as well as Sam Franklin. This ain't nothing new with Sam Franklin. DJ Johnson, the rookie, had a 33.9 PFF. Not good. And he was the worst. So, at the end of the day, we got to correct these things, guys. We have to. Brian Burns, I'm still happy that he did not get traded. You know, part of me was like, yeah, maybe we could use the picks to take a shot at getting somebody like a Marvin Harrison in the draft. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, if we were to get this guy, oh my goodness, oh my flipping goodness, this would not be fair. But I was kind of disappointed. Looking at what the Commanders got for Montez Sweat as well as Chase Young. But could you imagine having those two on the same side? I mean, even if you get Chase Young for a little while, you know, people are going to say, well, you're not competing in this, that, and other. Well, you have an opportunity to get this guy. And I know what people are going to say, well, you could get him for free agency next year. Possibly. But I'm already suspecting the San Francisco 49ers know what they're doing. So that's going to be a drop in the bucket there. They're not going to let that guy walk. You know, you got Bosa and Young and Bosa. So that's not going to be a situation that's going to look good for us. But I was thinking about something. I was looking what I think the Carolina Panthers needed to do. I saw, guys, there are two guys out there that are just like, I'm trying to figure out why have the Carolina Panthers not pounced on two of these corners since these guys are still available. And many of you guys know I'm really big on finding steals. And honestly, the one that is really jumping out at me is Bradley Roby. You know, I'm not sure why this guy is still a free agent, but at the realistic point of view is I think we should jump on this guy. You know, at least put him over there on the other side and allow us to put Dante Jackson back in his natural position, which is the slot. And I understand Coach Avero has a position for him, but Dante Jackson, you put him in the slot, you can blitz him more. And I know what people are going to say, well, Jeremy Chin's the guy that we wanted him to be there. But I don't understand what their plans are. Hopefully they change their mind when he gets back. I think he's supposed to be out for the next month or two. They may just decide to shut him down, being that we're at this point in the season. You know, still seems like it's a long way. We're 11 weeks away, but, 10 weeks away. But a lot of things can happen, you know. We just got to keep chugging along. But big victory. 15-13 over the Houston Texans. As I said, we were supposed to only lose 6 games this season, so hey, we may run 10 more. It's possible, you guys. But let me know what you guys think. I will be back with you hopefully tomorrow or sometime around Friday or Saturday to give you guys a Panthers preview of our next upcoming game, which will be the Indianapolis Colts, the Anthony Richardson-less Indianapolis Colts. But until the next time, you guys, keep prowling the airwaves, keep prowling the airwaves, and keep growling out. Keep pounding.